This is the Topic Be Tales, and I'm your host, Shannon Evans. Today, I have a special guest with me. We're going to be talking about a sensitive subject about violence and about a young man, Jaryan Cox, who was victimized by older young man. I wouldn't say a child because the young man's 17 years old. Jaryan was 13 years old and was assaulted and a victim, in my opinion, of a hate crime as well as a violent crime. And I'm going to let my guest introduce herself, and I'm so honored to have her on my show.
First of all, thank you for having me. I really truly appreciate just the exposure and appreciate you wanting to have us on. My name is Laquila Shinn. I am the auntie of Jaryan Cox. I'm the sister of his mom, Jaryan Shinn. And like I stated, I'm originally from Mississippi, but I do, however, live in Georgia right now. I wouldn't say we're excited to be here, but we're here. And we are going to try to navigate this the best way we can to get the results that we need.
I've got so many questions, and
I'm
but I also want to let you guide this interview because I feel it's important that you are allowed to tell your story unfettered, because
got
I
it.
think it's very important for victims and their families to have a voice.
Mhm.
And this is none of this has been adjudicated yet.
Right.
So we are trying to draw attention so that the right thing is done in the
Right.
long run. And first of all, I want to say I'm incredibly sorry about what happened to your nephew. And I can't imagine the trauma of what that has done long term for that child
Mhm.
and the long term impact that will have, the PTSD. I hope, and I think I'm right. I think he's a very resilient young man based on
Absolutely.
the family I've spoken to and
Absolutely.
what I've read and what I've seen in the community about your family.
Mhm.
And I'm just, the video about killed me. And I did post it on my Facebook
Thank
because,
you.
and I struggled with it. It took me a while to post it. And I
Mhm.
came to the decision, if the family continuing to say, post it, make it public, let people see exactly what happened so that nothing gets shoved under the carpet.
Right.
I did post it,
Thank you.
and it brought tears to my eyes as an
Mhm.
educator, as a mother, as a
Mhm.
sister. No one's child should be treated that way by anybody. And I'm just amazed at how your family has gathered around him. So that leads me to my questions. How has this impacted him? And he's 13, correct?
Correct.
And how has this impacted his siblings? Because these are children, and
Absolutely.
I want to understand first, do we need to describe what happened? I think we should probably give my viewers a little bit of an overview of what actually happened.
Okay.
So if you could do that.
Okay. So I will give a little context, but I love for people to actually search it to really try to dig in for themselves. But I will give context to the story. Per my knowledge, the young white male came to my sister's house between the wee hours of the morning, 3:30 or something like that. I'm not sure specifically time, and knocked on the door basically and lured my nephew out with the intention to basically, he told him that he was trying to sell him something. I'm not really sure what that something was, and I'm not really sure what was the encounter before because I'm not privy to what was said. I don't know because they have his phone. So basically, it was he came with the intentions, pretend under the presumption that he was selling something. But once he got him out the door, it switched very quickly to, oh, you was talking to my girlfriend, and he pulled a gun on him, made him run in the woods, made him do jumping jacks, made him do a lot of demeaning, degrading acts that are just considered to me heinous. Like it's almost like hazing. If you ever, heard of sororities, how they kind of go overboard, but just add a little racism in it, and then kind of, I think you kind of get like the logistics of it. But and so he hit him with the gun. He had him at gunpoint the whole entire time, or the
Do we
whole.
know what caliber the gun is or anything like that?
Well, I'm not sure, so I don't want to specify because I don't know
Okay.
personally, but I do know that those details have been, I think they have been made public. I'm
It
not
wasn't
sure.
a I'm gonna just put this
It
clear
wasn't
for
a toy gun
it
for
was not
sure.
a toy, it was the real
Yes,
thing.
it was
Do
a
we
real
know if
thing.
it was loaded?
It was loaded. It was
Jesus,
loaded.
Mary and
Yep.
Joseph.
Yep. It was loaded, and you can also see they said that he took the safety off when he said, "You think I'm playing?" and he took the
Mhm.
safety off. For me personally, it took a minute for me to even. I couldn't even get through the first 4 seconds. So to get through the 26 was like it. it takes a lot. I have to watch it on mute when I'm sharing it, or it will really take me to a place that I don't want to be in. And I'm glad you asked about his siblings. He have two siblings, an older sister and a younger brother. So he's the center. So he's in the middle. I heard a very disheartening story that I shared with you yesterday from my sister that I found out the night of, afterwards, everything that kind of took place is she up in the middle of the night walking through the house, just checking on your kids. You know how we just kind of get up and make sure the doors are locked, you make sure, well, everything is everything. And she's looking around and she looks in the boys' room. They're not in there. She's looking around like, where are the kids at? And so she goes to the one child's room and they're all in the room in the same bed together, like literally like protecting each other in a sense.
Oh,
And she said that moment almost made her crash out. Like it literally broke her. And she's been dealing with so much stress to the point that it is literally like it's starting to affect her body, her physical health. Not eating, he's not eating. It's a mess. Like it's a mess. And I think it's all like I tell people all the time, like the shame does not belong to us. The embarrassment does not belong to us. But I do understand that we do live in a socially dominated world where everything is so big. And if it's, we can't control how other people view things. So as an adult, I could say, you're a kid, this happened to you. You didn't cause this, but then you have kids that can be like, oh my God, he was doing this. And so I do understand that it can go from side to side with it. But yeah, so I'm glad you asked about the siblings. So they are all traumatized and they're all beating themselves up in the head, saying that they should have been there, they should have been outside, they should have been awake, just all these different scenarios.
so this happened last Sunday night. So it hasn't
Um,
even
from,
been a week.
yeah, it hasn't even been a week yet. And
Okay,
it has
gosh.
done years worth of damage and it hasn't
It,
even been a week.
has your nephew or his siblings been able to go back to school?
Okay, so great point. She had to take them out of the current school because she thought that it was the best. Come come to find out, they started lashing out a little bit more, because the changes, it's beginning of the school year, and then so she tried sending him to school, but he got physically sick yesterday, like he was just throwing up. And I think, like I said, he's a kid. So in his mind, that video is constantly replaying, and he thinks that everybody's looking at him. He feels like everybody's like, you're the boy that was doing like. And so my niece had a really bad moment yesterday at school where she basically just winked out at school. And the teacher said, I don't know what's going on. I don't understand. Like I don't know what we did wrong. And because the teacher is unaware of the situation. So we had to
Oh,
go, my sister had to go pick her up from school. She was literally like, she's
shut down.
full of anger. She's the older sibling. So I'm an older sibling. So I know I'm where I'm going to take it. Like, it's a different place when you're the oldest. So, and I feel like she failed her brother, and
So the school did not prepare the teachers that these children were coming back.
not to my knowledge, because see, they were at one school and they were withdrawn because she thought it would be best to leave the school since it all kind of
But
came
still,
around the school.
the new
But
school should have been.
no, they wasn't. They were not. If they were informed, I'm not aware. But from what I'm privy to, I don't think so. I mean, but who don't know,
It's Lowndes County. We're not that big. If these teachers don't know,
No,
what rocket
seriously.
they've been under.
Yeah.
So the school should be providing counseling for all those children in
Hmm.
conjunction with the parents.
Right.
Are they getting support out in from a professional counselor? Are they
Okay.
getting social emotional support from a mental health care professional?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. We have spoken with my sister. That process has started yesterday.
It takes
So
time because
it
you have to
really
get
just
through your health care. It
yeah.
takes
So
time.
it's a little. It's gonna take some navigation trying to pinpoint what would be best, who they need
Mhm.
to see. But the ball is rolling in that
Okay.
aspect. So definitely that priority is definitely a priority for all of them. This is a priority.
Good, because the whole family will need counseling.
Absolutely.
Because this is
Yeah.
too big to navigate. There's their community, their church. Everybody needs to wrap them in their arms
Absolutely.
and give these people lots of grace,
Yeah.
especially teens. Heck, I'm 63 years old, and stress still. I get angry
Yeah.
when I'm frightened.
Yeah.
The first thing is my first response is to protect. And then
Absolutely.
afterwards, I'm angry. I'm angry that I was put in
Mhm.
that situation. I'm angry that
Yeah.
someone chose to do that behavior.
Mhm.
I like to think I have some ability to modulate my anger and my attention. But in a child who hasn't encountered this yet, I can't imagine because they don't have the toolbox. They don't
They
have the
don't.
life experience to
They
navigate
don't.
that.
They don't. And it takes a lot coming from someone who has been through therapy, who still goes just because I have to balance a lot in life. It's
Mhm.
very important. So yeah, I totally agree with you. As a child, I don't know. I can't even begin to even try to comprehend what he may be feeling. But I know it just could not be good.
No, it can't be. So the other piece of that is, and I don't like this word victim, but I don't, there isn't really another word in
It's not.
in the system,
It's yeah.
but has the community, and the school clearly has kind of not and kind of failed.
Mhm.
Has the community reached out to provide services to help support the family in this time? For instance, did the school system say, we agree, we think it's important, let us help you find another school that we can get the kids in so make it seamless and support the family? Are there any support organizations for victims of violent crime in Lowndes County that is providing information in any way? Is law enforcement providing any information in any way of support in connection to social services to help this family navigate being in this position of a victim? Because I mean, this has got to go to court, and he's going to be, if he has to testify, he's going to be victimized again.
Mhm.
I'm just curious. I don't know. I've never been the victim of a violent crime, and I've never had a child be a victim of a violent crime. So
Mhm.
I don't know how this gets navigated. Do you?
Sorry. No, I don't know how it's going to be navigated, but what I do know is the answer to all of those questions is absolutely not.
Nothing.
Absolutely not. No one.
Wow. Nobody sent
No
the,
one. No one. Absolutely not. We are spearing it ourselves, trying to figure out because it's also new to us.
the school has not given you anything.
No, absolutely
But
not.
both of these students were from the same school. Am I correct?
Correct. But you also speaking about a school who has a long history of just
Yes, I know.
unethical behavior towards
Well, look
their.
at what is their mascot? Is it
Uh,
still a
well,
Confederate soldier?
listen, they was fighting it when I was in school, and that was over 20 years ago. It was changed to something else. Now they talking about going. I don't know. But what I do know is the answer to the question is no. No one has reached out. No one. We have people that supporters that are doing more for us. That's trying to do more for us than anybody in a position that should be doing has even considered. So
Let me make this clear. Both children, both young men, I'm not going to call the older one a child because he's
yeah,
17.
yes,
The 17-year-old was a student at Caledonia
correct.
High School.
Well, from my knowledge, I think he may have been in middle school. I'm not sure if he failed. I'm not sure what that looks like.
17 as a middle
And,
school?
and that was a lot. That was a little crazy for me too. So I'm
The
not
and your nephew is a middle school student.
correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So he's a
So,
first time middle school student. So he's
but
only in
he's
middle
on
school.
track. He's
Yeah.
where he
Yeah.
should be. Okay. So let me ask this. Have you seen the photos and videos of his assailant when he was, I would say, between the ages of 10 and 12 that are
Mhm.
on his social media?
Unfortunately, yes, I have seen it, and it does paint a brighter picture.
It
Student
shows that
behavior
gun
stems
culture,
from.
yeah,
Yeah.
gun culture
Hmm.
has, so I'm gonna be classist here. Okay. One, somebody bought him a gun.
Correct.
They had to buy, if he gave them the money, so be it, but he's under 18. Some adult purchased that gun.
Correct.
Do we know who purchased the gun?
We do not
The
know.
public doesn't either.
The public doesn't know.
We, not that this is his judgment about people with tattoos, because I could give a, my children have
Yeah,
lots of
I
tattoos.
literally have like 30. So,
Yeah,
but
so
so
I
yeah.
don't have a problem with tattoos, but what I'm associating this with is this young man, 17 years old, and the
Hmm.
arm in the video of him extended with the gun is covered in tattoos.
Absolutely.
The gun is an expensive weapon. The tattoos are not cheap to get.
Nope.
And he's underage. Some adult was
Fine.
permitting adult behaviors in a minor and
Yep.
expecting him to modulate his behaviors as
Absolutely.
an adult.
Absolutely.
So who empowered him to do
We would love
this?
to know. We would love to know.
I'm going to give you one more little piece of the puzzle because I love to do research, and my listeners will know that I love to do research. It's my thing. It's my thing.
I get it.
This young man's mother has presented herself and her child in a form of victimhood, excusing his behavior.
Absolutely.
So let me put it in context. The first one I found is from when this young man is approximately, I would say, 13 years old, between 11 and 13 years old. And the mother goes online and she wrote this long thing about this. The young man is violent and angry, and it's all because his ADHD. Now, ADHD does not make you, that's an executive function disorder, and we could go into all kinds of stuff, but it's impulse control, et cetera, et cetera. So now you know your child has a violent history, and you know your child has violent tendencies, and you know your child's out of control, and you know that you have to have him medicated to help him control his behavior, and you buy him guns, or you allow him to have guns. As his mother, he's living in her home, I presume.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why was he allowed to have weapons? And there are multiple weapons in the videos and the photographs.
Correct.
And so clearly he's been
having access. He was granted access to things a child shouldn't have. And either she can't control him, or she didn't try to control him. It's one of the other. There's no other way.
So did you listen to her interview on WCBI where she says, we just think he needs to stay in custody? Well, I don't think you get a voice, mama. And number two, she painted herself as a victim and her children as the victim.
She did.
And that could have been, she just doesn't have good advice. But I'm really disappointed that WCBI gave her such a large soundbite. Or was that intentional to paint her as someone who clearly doesn't have, has self-elected not to have control of her child? Because my impulse was, yes, she doesn't want that kid home because she can't control him. That's why he's in juvie right now anyways.
Correct.
And she's afraid of him. I think she's afraid of her own child.
I believe so. I'm glad you brought that point. I do believe that, unfortunately, the mom, once they get to a certain age, there's only so much you can do. And that child is filled with hate. He's confused. He has been given access to things he should not have. He didn't know how to use it. He have seen things he probably shouldn't have seen. Like I said, I don't want people to get it confused. I'm a mother before anything, and I love children. I love all children, and I want the best for all children. And I do know that someone failed this child. Someone failed this child.
But now society has to pay.
Absolutely. Someone has to pay for the mistakes of the hands who were supposed to guide him. So
my concern is if he gets out, does he have the mental capacity to control his behavior and not gain access to another weapon? And I don't see that.
I don't see it.
I don't see it. And I'm pretty sure, based on what I read in his socials, that he has been sent away before. Because he responds in his socials, I think it was on Instagram, that he'd been away, but he's back.
Yeah.
And one of the comments refers to him having gone away to, it sounds like he went to reform school. He went away to school. It doesn't sound like he was sent to live with his grandparents. Let me just put it that way.
Right.
So he's a minor, so I have no way of knowing this for sure. But this is just from reading what I can find online about him.
Right.
I did find something in a Reddit, I believe it was in Reddit or Substack. I think it was Reddit that was printed in 2024 that he had been violent before.
I've heard a couple of stories about it. I don't, like I said, I don't know the validity of it, either of them.
We don't.
But you can know that he has a history, and he's honestly not that old to have such a history full of so many criminal acts and have nothing done to him already.
Yeah.
Because to bring me to back to the point of the ADHD, I have several members in my family, my brothers included, who were all diagnosed ADHD. And guess what? When they were teenagers, they didn't get pat on the hand. I
Mm-mm.
have
And
cousins
they,
who went
mine
away.
sure didn't have guns put in their hands. I
Yeah,
have
I
a
have.
so there was a lot of impulse control
Yes,
understanding.
I have family members that were locked up at 12, 13, 14. They did not they didn't get the grace that he's getting. They
Absolutely.
also didn't get the whole protection. There was no protection. And I just feel like right now we are in a place in Mississippi, in Columbus, where we have to decide as people that this is no longer acceptable for us. If you cannot give justice for all or make it equal for all, then you're going to have to come out of that position. We just can't do it. We're tired,
Absolutely.
and you should be tired. So
So I'm not going to second guess the prosecutor yet because the grand jury, we haven't gone to grand jury
we
yet.
haven't. Yep. So we haven't. Yeah.
So we can't, his hands are tied until the
Absolutely.
grand jury meets.
Hmm. And so when I heard that, so I totally agree. Initially,
I
I
don't
think my
agree with the charges.
yeah, I don't. And I think that my anger and my emotions were literally causing me to like just have this whole rage with everybody in the judicial system. So I really had to take a look yesterday and realize that the glass is half full. And so I did speak, like I said, I know Scott on a different work level, and I would like to believe that he's capable of doing what needs to be done. But I've also seen so many children fail before by the hands of people that we thought were capable of doing something. And so because he said his hands is tied, I just if your hands are tied, then I just need you to stay out the way until you can untie them.
Yeah.
And that's what I personally feel.
Well,
And for everybody who go ahead, I'm sorry.
here's what I think is going to happen. This is just me, and I had this discussion on a live the other night. We don't have we as the public, and I know they never give the victim's family any information. It's just the way it is. It sucks, and it's a horrible place to be sitting in a vacuum.
Mhm.
But there's several things. This child had a weapon.
Mhm.
This child was with a young lady. Was the girl with him at the time?
No, and that's also the little girl is 13.
If he has had intercourse with that young lady, that is
Mhm.
statutory rape, no matter what her mom and daddy say,
Correct.
because he's 17 and she's 13.
Correct.
We don't know what's on his phone.
We don't.
I hope they took his phone. I hope they pick up his gaming systems and
Mhm.
any electronics he has, if that's an iPad, a Chromebook, a computer, a laptop,
Right.
whatever.
Hopefully.
Whatever, because gaming systems can reveal a lot of information because these kids yak back and forth.
Absolutely.
I hope they go and look on this young man's socials because there is
Mhm.
a pattern that I have seen. And I'm not in law enforcement, but
Correct.
as a former educator, I can tell you,
Right.
I can see
Right.
the patterns. And as an educator, these would be alarm bells for me.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Now, who are the adults that gave him these things? How did he get there? Did he walk to the house? Did he take a vehicle?
He was in a vehicle.
Does he have a license? Is he
That I would.
is he legal?
Those are great questions.
I would start. I mean, we're going to investigate. I told you I love research.
I know, right?
I should have been a
Do we
forensic
have
auditor or
insurance?
something.
Who
Did he
car
have
was he
insurance?
in?
Whose car was it? Who knew? Where does he sleep at night? Who knows where he is? Is he truant from school? Because
Right.
Mississippi still has truancy laws. Man, I think if we have an investigator who's worth
Mhm.
their salt, and I hope we do. I hope they do it. But now here's my gut reaction when all this happened. I have African American members of my family
Mhm.
who are male, male and female, but I have
Right.
male members
Mhm.
who are young men. And I watched their parents have to help them navigate what the world is like. And it was very different from what I have had to tell my clear
Right.
skinned children.
Right.
And what I know is that if the roles had been reversed, we know that it would have been handled a lot differently.
Absolutely.
I talk about uncomfortable things. I'm gonna just
Mhm.
lay it out like it is.
Yeah.
If the
Yeah.
roles had been reversed, if your nephew had been the 17-year-old,
Hmm.
he'd probably be dead.
Yeah, absolutely.
He
And
wouldn't have
that's
been taken. I hate to say that,
absolutely true.
and your family would have
Absolutely.
been run out of town.
Absolutely true. Was except the running out of town part because they can't run us nowhere.
Well, but
They,
you know what I mean. They
they
would have
would have
made. They
tried,
would. They
but
would have
yeah,
tried. They would have
they
made life
definitely would have
hell,
tried.
and they would have
Yeah.
made it very
Yeah, yeah,
difficult.
absolutely. They would have definitely tried. But yeah, he would have been dead. I don't think would have been given any grace. We know he wouldn't have been given any grace.
This is the.
It's sad truth.
Let's just call it what it is.
Sad
There's
truth.
a double standard,
Yeah, for sure.
and this child is now victimized,
Hmm.
and the white kid with the gun
Hmm.
is sitting pretty, getting three
Right.
hots at a cot.
And he may be out because if I'm not mistaken, they were saying that they think he may already be out. But I don't know how true that is because it's so many different stories. And people just have stuff going so many different ways. So I definitely don't like to speak to certain things because I don't know.
Well, a couple of things: keep your nephew close.
Hmm.
Keep your other nephew and your niece close too. Make sure they're never alone,
Right.
because let's just say that there
Oh,
are entities in our community who don't know how to act right.
I get it.
What does the future look like for you guys as we go into this? Have you spoken to any civil rights attorneys? Are you going to, I mean, I would be suing the mother. I know she probably doesn't have a pot to piss in,
Oh,
but
one of
I'd
them.
be suing the mother for any money that young man ever makes going in the future should be coming back to pay for mental health care and pain and suffering and restitution. I'd be filing a civil case. What are y'all
So,
gonna do? I'm gonna shut up for a minute because I'm
um,
angry and I'll just run my mouth.
right. So I'm glad you asked that question. There are a lot of irons in the fire. There are a lot of plays being made. And what I want people to understand is chess, not checkers. So it's a lot that I won't speak to publicly, but just know behind the scenes, it's some things being set up to address exactly what you were just saying. And there has been talk. I will let you know that we have been in talk with the NAACP, or some of my family members have, not me personally. And I do know that as of right now, according to the social media world, this story is being pushed further and further up. So I am anticipating for it to go national. Like I told you yesterday, the straw that broke the camel's back for sure.
Do y'all have representation for
As
your?
of now, no, but we are actively considering and just trying to figure out which way to go with it and who. But I can tell you that it won't be anybody from Mississippi. So I can say that. I can let you know that.
Good,
Yeah, we don't need anybody that works with them. So no.
good. I know that there's a march this weekend. There's a
Mhm.
protest. Can you tell us a little bit about the protest and how we can join in and how we can support y'all in your efforts to get the word out? This weekend that you have a protest
Uh-huh.
in the community in Lowndes County at the Lowndes County Courthouse.
Correct. So I'm glad you asked that question because we have the Lowndes County Courthouse, but we would prefer to do it at the big courthouse. But there are some things that have to be done before we can say we're going to be at the big courthouse, is what I was told this morning. So I would just say we will be at the Lowndes County Courthouse because that is the solidified location. But we would prefer to be at the bigger courthouse. So if anyone knows, I've already reached out to.
So hang on a second. The Lowndes County Courthouse is the big courthouse. Are you talking about the city municipal building? Is that what you were?
Well, it's like the one where he's the sheriff, the courthouse, but them like the smaller one down by the jail.
There's no
Yes,
room down there.
I know, and that's why I wanted to do it. But they were saying that it may be.
The courthouse would be more iconic because
Absolutely.
that's where the sheriff hangs out.
I know. That's
Um,
what I prefer.
and the main courthouse, the Lowndes County Courthouse, which is downtown, everyone knows where that is because it's got a
But they were
giant.
saying that it was have to be approved or something. But well, from my knowledge,
Anybody
I
can
never heard
protest.
that.
Anybody can. You can protest in the. You don't
And
have
that's
to
what I
have
said.
you
And
can't
that's what
go
I,
inside, but it's
right.
not
And that's
open
what
on
I
Saturday
and that's
anyways.
what I said. I researched it. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure you, as long as you're not stopping traffic, you're not standing in front of private places, and you're not disrupting the public in such ways. And so I just thought I was going crazy because I'm like, I know you don't need that for
No,
this.
no, we can get you more information on that.
Please.
But no, they can't. I think what they're trying to do is say if you're having a parade, they're trying to get you to get a parade
Yeah, and we're
permit.
not having a parade,
You're
so
just
it's definitely
standing
nothing to
there and
celebrate.
complain, and we're just standing up there and lodging the
Literally,
complaint.
that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, the
But yeah,
Lowndes County
so
Courthouse is the place to do that.
the big courthouse, and essentially what I hope to do is to garnish citizens from everywhere, all over Mississippi. And from what I'm seeing and what I've been told, there are going to be people from all over coming in. People are flying in to be here. Media outlets are flying in to be there because it is so massive. And I think the video just hit a lot of us so deeply that we couldn't believe that a child could be like,
It's interesting, white or black in this community. In this community, people are furious. It doesn't
yes.
matter. It is
I promise you, I tell
it,
people, it's not a race thing no more. Everybody is
it
mad.
was a child being
Yeah.
horrifically treated and victimized and scared. The terror we saw, every parent saw, it was immediate. They're like, that child is
Yeah.
terrified.
Hmm.
And it was an immediate gut reaction.
Yeah.
And it was a knee-jerk reaction from the whole community. And
Hmm.
I am furious that the school wasn't proactive in what
No.
to do to bring your nephew back. I still keep going back to that.
Yep. No, ma'am. Absolutely not.
I have reached out to Scott Cologne.
Okay.
We are going to try and do a podcast episode as well.
Okay.
And I have asked him to come on, not necessarily to speak about this case because he can't really.
Right. Right. Hmm.
My questions are, what are the legal ramifications
Hmm.
for children who have guns and shouldn't be having guns? But more importantly, what are the responsibilities of the parents? And then what can they do? What can
Glad you're
parents
doing
do
it.
when you have a child that's out of control? And
Right.
so that we don't have this happen again. Let's make this a teachable
Yeah.
moment.
What can we do to ensure that we don't have any more of whatever the young man's name? We don't have this type of scenario. And I do think they're gonna have to be some clear lines about what kids can and can't do, and then when the liability is officially, this is on you as a
Yeah,
parent. This is on you. And
I
I
agree.
I think they're gonna have to make it black and white, because if not, it's gonna always be those little fuzzy lines where, well, I didn't know he was
Mm-hmm.
out there, because, ma'am, you should know. Sorry,
It doesn't, ignorance of the law does not absolve you from the law.
that there we go. There we
So,
go. So yes, ma'am.
well, I want to thank you for being on this podcast. I want to thank my listeners for being here. Is there
Thank you.
anything else you want me to make sure that our audience knows about? And you are always welcome to come back anytime.
Yes,
You've been
ma'am.
such a gracious guest.
Thank
And I hate that this is why we had to meet, but
Yeah,
I feel honored to have been able to give your family some
absolutely.
voice.
We totally appreciate it. We appreciate your time. We appreciate the effort. We appreciate you sharing us with your community, sharing the story. We just appreciate you guys seeing us, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Hmm.
And woo,
I can't imagine how difficult this has been.
oh Lord. Okay. So to your audience, if you have a child, if you was someone's child, were someone's child, I hope that this breaks you to a point where you demand change, and that you stand with us, that you stand on the right side this time, because these kids are supposed to be our future. And if this is what the future looks like, we are up creep. Yeah, I won't say the word, but we are up that word. We're that way. And for a country that's already suffering so severely, we do not need to breed and raise more children full of hate, full of ignorance, and full of rage, and with no control and no self guidance. We, as parents, as community leaders, have got to do a better job with helping these kids navigate their emotions, navigate life, navigate their home. Because if you want to be honest, both of them, and I hate to, I'm an auntie, but both of those kids are victims.
Mm-hmm.
And
They are.
I have to keep it, I'm a straightforward person. And I look at the bigger picture. And I'm angry and I'm raged, but I know that child is a victim from his circumstances, from his upbringing. And should he still be held responsible for these?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, I just want to make sure that everybody knows
Well,
what.
there's one can be compassionate and
Mhm.
empathetic and still
Right.
hold someone accountable.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, that's what
Then
I'm
one
doing.
is not mutually exclusive of the other.
Gotcha. But
But
yeah,
thank
that's
you
all.
again.
Absolutely.
This is Shannon Evans, and this has been the Tom Bigby Tales.